The Chicago Bulls went from the 11th seed to the 5th seed in one offseason. DeMar DeRozan was the biggest acquisition, but they also got good players like Caruso, Lonzo, and Dosunmu. A lot of people loved the DeRozan signing, but there were also a lot of people that hated it. They started off the year hot, and were the first seed in the East for a good stretch of time. The resurgence of DeRozan and basketball in Chicago made them fan favorites, and they were so fun to watch. But the Bulls would lose the first seed, and injuries took out key players like Patrick Williams, Alex Caruso, and Lonzo Ball. They dropped to the 5th seed, and this has many people questioning if they are title contenders. Chicago is hoping to ramp it up before the playoffs, but there are critical issues that they will run into. These issues weren't exposed because of injuries playing out. These issues are inevitable. In this video, I'm going to address these issues and what this means for the championship hopes this year and going forward. This year, I think it is next to impossible for the Chicago Bulls to win the championship, let alone make it out of the East. They have the scoring needed and the perimeter defense, but their interior defense is what will make them lose. No matter the setup of the playoff bracket, they will run into elite bigs. They will have to face up against Giannis and the Bucks or Embiid and the Sixers. Even Bam Adebayo would have a great series against them, because who's going to guard them? Nikola Vucevic, Tristan Thompson? Giannis is averaging 32 points and 14 rebounds a game against the Chicago Bulls this season. Joel Embiid is averaging 33 points and 12 rebounds. And I know this is based on a small sample size, but it still goes to show how these players dominate against the Bulls. Giannis has proven that he can dominate in the playoffs, as we saw last year. In the second round against the Nets, he feasted in the paint. He averaged 32 points and 13 rebounds on 57% shooting during the series. They lack good paint defense, and Giannis made them pay. In the finals, DeAndre Ayton was the main defender for Giannis. He is a great defender, but that didn't matter. He averaged 35 points and 13 rebounds on 62% shooting. He even had a 50-piece in the closeout game, and that is another example when Giannis dominated in the playoffs. Ayton did the best he could, but Giannis was able to adapt and blow by him. After Ayton, the Suns didn't have a good defender to guard Giannis. Overall, their defense was great, but that didn't matter. This will be a similar story for Joel Embiid. He is guaranteed to give you 30 and 10 in the playoffs, but against the Bulls, he can do even better than that. He has continued to expand his game. If the Bulls decide to double team him, he can find the open man or create a shot for himself from the mid-range or perimeter. There is no way the Bulls can stop elite big men, and I don't believe they excel in any other categories to make up for it. Their scoring is great, with DeRozan and Lavine leading the way. They are both elite scorers and are surrounded by other players that can put the ball in the basket. Vucevic will give you 18 points, Kobe White will give you 14, and Lonzo will give you 13. But the thing is, none of these players are proven in the playoffs. In Toronto, DeMar doesn't have a good playoff history. He averaged 22 points a game on 41% shooting from the field. He was known as the leader and primary scorer on those Raptors teams, and that was disappointing. DeMar's underperformance is a big reason why LeBron was able to beat the Raptors 3 years in a row, with 2 of them being sweeps and giving them the nickname LeBronto. He played one series in San Antonio, and he played decent. He put up an efficient 22, 7, and 5, but that is only one series out of 10. Zach Lavine has never even been in a playoff game, so we don't know what to expect. Besides a series where he only played 3 minutes in total, Vucevic has only played in 2 playoff series. He played well, but that is only 10 playoff games, and we have yet to see a big sample size, let alone a deep playoff run. Lonzo has never been in the playoffs, and neither has Kobe White or Dosunmu. Caruso won a championship on the Lakers and played decently, but he hasn't gotten much experience besides that. I do have faith that the Bulls will have a good offense in the postseason, but it isn't a sure thing. I think DeMar will change his ways in the playoffs, just like he had a resurgence in his career. I think Lavine's production will translate well to the playoffs, kinda like Devin Booker did last season. I think Vucevic will play like he has been, but I'm not as confident about the other guys. I don't think they're gonna play terribly, just a little bit less than expected. They have a lot of young pieces, and as history shows, they don't play as well in the playoffs. I do think their offense will look good in the postseason, but there isn't a player on the team that we know we can rely on in a 7-game series. This whole team is missing deep playoff experience, and that could affect the downfall of the Chicago Bulls. Interior defense is their main concern in the playoffs, but their best trait isn't even guaranteed. If they don't address these issues, their championship hopes will be out the window. This season, they can't do anything about it. They can rise up on offense and play solid perimeter defense, but the Giannis's and Joel Embiid's of the world will still dominate down low. What they can do is gain valuable playoff experience this season and carry that into next season. That also means improving the roster and getting more center depth and a good interior presence. Although this is the first year in a long time where the Bulls are a good team, their championship window is pretty short. Although there are young players like Lonzo, Kobe White, Dosunmu, and Patrick Williams, the best players on the team need to win now. Zach Lavine is starting his prime, so there's no huge rush for him. But DeRozan is 32 and Vucevic is 31. They still have a few more years to improve and win a championship, but if they don't fix this key issue, their window will close and Chicago will be forced to rebuild again. And if that happens, I hope it doesn't take as long as the last rebuild took. I do wish the Bulls the best, but I have to be realistic. There are major flaws that they have to prioritize, and until they do that, their championship hopes are next to none. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I read every single comment, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe for future basketball content, and thank you for watching.